4 years ago, they decided that early childhood education really seemed like a policy area that we needed to have some research in Milwaukee, grounded in Milwaukee, so that policymakers could have a better understanding of one way in which we could really impact not only the educational quality of these very young children, but also maybe sustain the impacts on these children throughout their school career, and even, and this is kind of the wrinkle that the forum has taken, even use high-quality early childhood education as a tool for economic development in the region.
The main survey findings was that parents indicate great satisfaction with their current child care arrangements. And part of that is if someone calls you up and asks about this, you're not going to say over the phone, oh, I have chosen to put my child in a very low-quality situation, because that implicates you. But parents were very satisfied, and they gave the highest scores in the survey to qualities associated with the warmth of the caregiver. The caregiver, you know, calls Johnny by name and greets him warmly. And they gave lower scores, still pretty high, but lower, to the aspects of quality that are most often valued by researchers, such as caregiver skills, the learning environment, some of the factors that can also be regulated when you're trying to improve quality improvement in child care. Research from the Wisconsin Child Care Research Partnership found that the majority of providers in Wisconsin are of mediocre quality. And even worse, they found that low-income children who have the most to benefit from high-quality care were actually receiving the lowest quality of care. Then is just the status quo baseline. Maintain the system as it currently is, in which research indicates the majority of child care is of mediocre quality. This option would not maximize the benefits of high-quality early childhood education, but it is the least costly. Our research, we did a lot of cost estimates of what would these different scenarios cost. They estimate that our current system costs $5,600 in direct services per child in the 7-county area, which adds up to $370 million for the region of southeastern Wisconsin. So I'm going to talk about direct service costs. What I mean by that is the cost to providers to run their own programs. So it's not necessarily cost to the taxpayers, but there is some taxpayer money in the system through the subsidies right now. The second option looks at making incremental improvements to the system. So a little bit here, a little bit there. And while this would slightly improve quality over the entire region, and it probably is easier to achieve politically, some of these things can be hard to get past politically. It wouldn't improve quality to the extent that it really bumps it up to get those long-term social and economic benefits. So you would probably still be missing out on those. Our estimates show that this option would cost about $8,000 per child and $506 million in direct service costs across the region. The third option is, this is something I think will increasingly be seen in some stories in the paper about, that of a quality rating and improvement system, QRIS. So for the past few budget cycles, the governor has tried to get a QRIS passed. It failed and it failed, and then now it passed, but without any money attached. So they need to create a system that is budget neutral, which is hard. It's hard to improve quality without money. But they're trying, and they're going to soon introduce it to the Joint Finance Committee. Over 20 other states have QRIS systems, so we might be joining that club. What a QRIS plan does is it rates the quality of each provider and makes that information public. So a parent would have more tools to say, oh, I'm going to put my kid in a 5-star program instead of a 2-star program. And then suddenly providers have an incentive. Oh, I don't want to be a 2-star program. I need to raise my number of stars so that the parents will come to me. So there's more competition. The market forces might get a little healthier. So some QRIS plans are even more robust in that they give a larger amount of subsidy money to the higher quality providers and then a smaller amount to the lower quality providers, called a tiered reimbursement system. So we still have to see if what the governor is doing will include that or not. The fourth policy option